own Mason Margiela, it's the fact that like it's a exclusive place, right? And everybody is bringing something to the table. Like everybody is a hardworking individual. They're either like a CEO of a company, working at the mayor's office, artists, content creators.
No shade. And you have Michael Robeson, and no shade. I live for him.
That's my little grand. I just had a meeting with him.
He's just so like he's just for the culture. Like he's the people that needs to be like. I need to get him here, but he's the people that needs to be like up. Like no shade, because like I just love him. But like
and you have like Amaya Scott.
You
have Dominique Jackson. You got Vinny doing his Hollywood Suites. You have Smiles that he's doing his thing with Beagle, and like everybody is like doing something
in and out of ballroom.
Yes, and like there's models that they're like, and I love that all of us are authentically from ballroom, but we're just in places that we're kind of like changing the like outside of ballroom as well. And that's what I wanted, because I always like a balance to like I need something that can focus. I can focus on my real life, my media, because I'm now in media now, and then also being in ballroom. So I'm like, what house can because because I've been in houses where they don't understand my schedule. Like they'll be like, how come you're not out? And I'm just like, well, baby, I'm going to do a tour stop this and then I'm gonna do an interview here, and then cause like last night I was just I had to go all the way to Boston just for my big happy birthday. So like I was out there, then I had to do a presence at Wellesley College, and then I came here.
Right, because you are teaching at colleges now too, and this is all part of like your opportunities.
Because I actually started that before Legendary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I started at MIT and actually Northern University. I went to Springfield College, HEC, and then I went to Emerson College, Emerson University, and then there's also Harvard, and I'm teaching in Harvard. And so it's just like, I just end up putting myself in these different places, because like, if I really want to teach this, and I also made it able for Emerson College for you to earn a college credit
for doing
that. It was called the culture class. And what I would do is every once a week, we'll meet up, and we talked about categories, how to get ready for your effects. I even had a time where everybody had to bring like just stuff from their house, and we was dazzling the effects and everything. And the final test, like you know how like every classroom has like their test, was the ball. And so we do this thing called the end of an era ball. And shout outs to Chris, because I'm my manager. He's oh my God, so amazing, so wonderful. He taught me so many different things. But he was like really believed in me, and he was just like, listen, I'm gonna ask the president of Emerson to see what we can do. And we got all that stuff fixed. And then the president dropped $12,000 on us just for us to decorate this whole like gymnasium and turn it into a ballroom. And then he gave us $3,000 for grand prizes. And mind you, this was supposed to be a kiki ball.
Wow.
So, and I'm like, oh my God, we're breaking down barriers. And like,
like I think those things matter.
Yes.
Why do you want to highlight stuff like that?
Yeah, and you know what? And it gets under the rug all the time.
It's like swept. I mean, like,
and
I don't know how many rugs we have on the floor that he's sweeping under. Like,
and I'm like, girl, pick that rug up.
Pick the fucking rug up, bitch.
Like, getting mopped.
The shit's under there. Like, the gems is under the rug.
Yes, and I just feel like a lot of times people kind of discredit people like us to be out here to push the culture in different ways, because like our ancestors died for us.
No shame. But you know what I think it is too? And I think this was a huge lesson that I thought, and I hope that people get from just the experience of Legendary and just seeing that it was 3 seasons, or I think it was 3 seasons or whatever, and then instantaneously gone.
Yes.
And I gagged. Well, I didn't gag, but they gagged. But because, I'm into Black culture and all that stuff, and I get into them shits, I was just like, oh no, networks, they move funny like that. They've been moving funny like that.
Once I heard Discovery, I said, it's over. I said they be trying to find like artifacts of like Jesus and everything. So they're like, for us to have like girls out there with like thigh-high boots on and all that, while we trying to look for Jesus, girl, get you some peace. Like, I can't even roll in peace.
Like, yeah, and people was like, I can't believe this. I'm like, but this is what happened. This is why when those opportunities come, and y'all and they think it's when their head gets too big.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, oh, I'm on TV and I'm on this and you not, because at one point too, people don't want to admit, but there was a big like divide between the get girls and then the girls and the ballroom girls.
Yep.
Like the get girls was bigger than the ballroom girls, and it was like the thing, and it was like, you know, you would see those debates happen.
Absolutely.
But a lot of that division came from these big multimedia corps that's just making money off of us. No shade. So I'm like, even doing this and you doing what you're doing, bitch, it's getting that's the reparations. Absolutely. That's getting the money back.
Absolutely.
Like, no tea. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? And then we can tell our own narrative. And that is always like my thing.
It makes me too. Because I think it's a Gemini thing. Because like one thing we're not gonna do is just let somebody tell a story.
I'm not gonna let anybody
we're gonna say
tell
it like as
story.
we need it, how we going to do it, like
because they love to tell my story. They don't tell everybody else's story, but they own. It's crazy.
And like even and just like go like a little like tack to put into it. I remember I think his name was Tat Ebony. I think, but that was the day of when I beat Malaysia and everything. And if you watch the clips, right, you'll hear him in the background. He actually slapped my house member, Marcus Escada, ex-Escada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's actually still Escada, but he ended up slapping him because like they wanted me to vote against all the Ebonies, and it was no house affiliation. So every time we did house affiliation, I had to battle my own Escada brothers. So I'm like, let the Ebonies battle each other. But you'll hear Tap in the back be like, yeah, get the tall girl that nobody likes. Like, da, 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 da. And I'm just like, girl, watch how I'm about to. Yeah. But we're in a good place now.
Okay,
so I just had to, back to that.
Yeah.
But
let them know. You gotta remind a few girls.
Just a little like we said, Gemini's always have to tell their story. But for him always trying to like paint that story like, oh, nobody likes that.
Yeah.
I'm like, actually, people really do fuck with me. It's just that you are hearing it because you're on the opposite side and you're in like competition right now.
Right.
So you gotta take that L, baby. You gotta take that lead.
Period.
So
yes. Okay, so now let's get into it.
Yes.
Oh. It's more to why you had went to Margiela from what I previous thought. My own from the outside perspective, you trying to find somebody, which was, as we can say, I wasn't too far from that. You did want it to be around people that reflect where you was at, but you went through something way more different than that. Absolutely. What happened?
Okay. Well, in the beginning, right after the show, I was doing like touring, getting our kids together. We were still pouring into our kids and everything. But I'm gonna say two parts. So the first thing was I was in a relationship for like 8 years, and it was very toxic.
How was that? We
fought like all the time.
I've been through it.
And finally, I was coming to the end of that journey. And I was asking Escada, at the time I was the mother, but previous years before that, before I was even mother, I was doing motherly things because my father wanted to retire from ballroom and he wanted to like give it to somebody else. Yeah. But at that time I was a little too young. I mean, it wasn't young, but I was not able to. Yeah, and I wasn't able to be responsible for a whole chapter of souls. You know what I mean? Because like being a house parent, especially for us, it was more than just the name and being the trophy girl. It was about answering that phone calls at 2:00 in the morning and dropping $300 because somebody just went to jail, or you know what I mean. So I wasn't in that place yet. Yeah, but I did a lot of things that brought our family into bigger places, right? And when I was going through that breakup, I asked for a break. I was just like, guys, I need
time to heal.
Yes. I'm like, I have to find where I'm about to live now because like we and him been living with each other for the past 8 years. I'm like, Boston's expensive. It was like, I think it was almost $7,000 just for the first, last, and security. So I was like, girl, I need to focus on that, not no house dues and stuff like that. Yeah. And so I remember reading a message, but I didn't really think it was going to come down to me, but they was like, if you didn't pay no dues or anything, you will be removed from the leaders board. And I told them that I needed my break. And next thing you know, like they was like, oh, if you are reading this, you are no longer in the leadership position, but we love what you do, whatever, da 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 da. And I'm just like,
God,
everything I've done,
bitch. Bitch.
Like, I spent 10 years of my life, and this is no, and Scott, you know, I love y'all, but like,
no shade,
it's
investment.
like I gave up my youth to be here, and I can't get that back. You get what I'm saying? And but even though I do not regret any of it, because like we had such amazing time together, but that destroyed me, and especially at my lowest. Like,
I would destroy anybody.
Yes. And at that moment, I was just like, I gotta pull myself away. And so when I did pull myself away, it broke my family up. You know, so
because you have these personal relationships, because you know, when you really are a true leader, you know, because they have these leader conversations in these boards, I mean, on Facebook and stuff. But like, you know, when you really truly are a leader and you making those things, even while you're going through it, and people, because no shade, like no shade.
Let's talk about it.
When you are going through a toxic relationship like that, and you're still pouring into other people, it's a lot. It is a lot. You feel so depleted.
Yes. And like when I went through that breakup, it was like, it took me so long to find that energy back.
Down.
I was just like, damn, I done poured into everybody to a point where I don't think nobody's gonna pour back into me. But then I had my baby valid ex Escada. He's a 007 right now, but he opened up his home for me to, like, you know, he's like, listen, if you need to get your head together. I spent some time in Florida because I actually was like on a run, y'all. Because like I had to beat the ex. Like I was like, oh baby, we are not gonna have to do this. You know, the Gemini side
happened to that DL
I had to
side.
drag him underneath the two twin beds. Like,
oh my god,
baby,
it goes there,
and I had to hide in the truck and all that. Anyways, but
it goes there, I'm telling you.
But like, him opening up that door for me, and especially, and actually before that, I was staying in Florida because after the fight, I was just like, I'm not going back home. I didn't go back on the plane. I was going to go back, and I stayed right in Florida, and then I stayed there for a good like 2 months, and then I went to LA. Shout outs to Calypso for opening her home.
Oh, work.
Balmain.
Yeah.
I think she's is she Margiela? I think she's still a Balmain. But Jazul was the one that was just like, listen, if you need, you know, a place to, you know, just get away. I know you're trying to like live your life right now, but come here and get some, you know, family and just love, right? I get there and I had left everything, my suitcase, like my sneakers and everything, because I just didn't want to go back to him.
Yeah.
And so Jazul and a couple other Escadas kind of just brought, like, you know, 3 pair of pants, 3 pairs of shirts. And they were just like, this is your little starter kit to start over. You know what I mean? And so it was
that's so cute. You know, a care package.
Yes. And like that's what made my heart like just
no shame.
Pour endless,
because you know it gags you when it comes from people that you least expected, especially when it's in that way. It's just like no shade. Like you want it to come from the people that you poured into for 8 years, or you want it coming from, you know what I mean? Like, or at least the leaders that seen you, you know, been around and watched you grow for all these years.
And they was like, you're not good, we can tell. Like your headspace, you're not, you know, you're not as vibrant right now.
Right.
And so like that time really, I needed that. And when Valid opened his home, when I got back to Boston, I got on my feet. I ended up getting my apartment with Jazul and my best friend, Mark. Now, this is part 2.
Okay.
This is when things get a little more twisted.
Damn, just me.
So now that I have left the house and it has divided the family up, which it kind of was a beautiful thing now, because now New England is growing, because in different ways, because now Damien's the father of another house. I'm in my house, Chocolate's in his. So we're able to see New England turn into this new growth and competition. Right. But certain people end up taking it as dark, like it's over. And especially the ones that were on my team with Legendary. So when I did leave, there Yo-Yo and Jazul were the ones that I was like mostly on tour with. And I end up had to like put that on pause because I'm like, I got to figure out where I'm going to do it. My, like, you know, I'm no longer in Escada. And I'm like, I can't keep representing this house as I'm trying to, like, you know, move forward. And so they end up like starting to like raise their eyebrow at me. Like, what is my motive or whatever. But my motive was never to hurt them. it was really for me just to heal. But I think since me pulling my energy back
from people who usually are depending
and
on
they depend on that shit, they get very defensive when you take that back. And so I did tell Yo-Yo that, like, you know, when I'm done being New England mother, I wanted to pass it down to her. And when we were splitting, I got onto a phone call with the father of the house, Montrell, and Yo-Yo and Jazul was on the phone. And there was like, who do you see becoming the mother of the house since you're no longer here? And, you know, we still had those conversations. That's why I still love them. Like, we still had like this, like, they didn't have to ask me.
Yeah, damn.
Right? But at that time, Yo-Yo was facing some things that I won't say because, you know, that's personal things. But she was going through something, and I'm like, I can't allow this weight of how this chapter is being on her, because right now I know that right now you have to put your full foot forward.
She can't.
And so she took that as like me being a two-faced Gemini, she said.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And she was like, because you told me you was gonna give it to me, and da-da-da-da. And
it is so hard being a leader and being a friend at the same time.
Absolutely.
It is so hard.
Because you're trying to think about like the future.
Yes.
And I know that like they're looking at it right now, but I'm like, baby, you're not this taking care of like,
you're in the position, you know what it takes, and you know the mental toll that it is. And you see somebody, it's like, I know you, and this thing is, they need it for that validation. They need it in a way that is gonna inspire them, and hopefully, you know, but it's like in the long run, it's like, you're not gonna be able to maintain all of these personalities.
And they take that as like, oh, well, I'm gonna show you. And that, you know, and so now Jazul so we're living together. And as roommates, you know, everything was beautiful because, like, as I told you, like, you know, he poured into me, I poured back into him always. There was a certain situation that our landlord wasn't getting the money all, like, when we was giving it to him. Like, there's one person that had to have the check to put it in. Now, it wasn't coming in, so me and Jazul was mad.
Down.
But I end up having like, I was like, you know what? Can we have a sit down and just, you know, see what's going on? What's going on? Like, and it was beautiful. We had rolled a blunt. We sat there, and he's a Gemini too. So we was able to just have a great, because, you know, we're playing for communication.
Yeah.
And we just had a great conversation, and it was good. And I'm like, you know what? All you and Jazul need to do is have a conversation. They didn't want to talk to each other. Jazul was like, oh, if he's a friend, he'll talk to me. He was just like, I don't like his attitude, so I'm not approaching him. So it became this clash. And I felt like Jazul wanted me to stand up for him in a gay mother way and being like, don't talk to Jazul like that. Bitch, who the fuck? But I was just like, we're roommates. I'm a type of person, like, I'm going to think about how another person feels. Because first of all, as another Black man working hard, who am I to go in there and like try to tear down his character because you can't get along with him?
Yeah.
And so I told Jazul, I'm like, listen, just go talk to him. They don't. They avoid it. Things get worse. Doorknobs get taken off and all this other shit. Like, they're going back and forth. Now it's not about the rent. Now,
yeah, I was about to say, what happened?
Right. Now it's not even about the rent. Now it's about like the electric bill and all this other stuff. Now they're trying to be petty towards each other. So there was one time he calls a house meeting. And we all go out to the living room, and Yo-Yo she used to come over because at that time she needed us as a safe haven. Right? Yeah. And so she knocks on the door. Jazul is going off in the living room. He's completely, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sorry, am I spraying too much on it? Okay. He's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this bitch is a bum. Da 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 da. And my best friend was just like, I'm not gonna come out because, like, I told you when I moved in here, I'm not gonna ever put my hands on one of your friends, because he wasn't really in the ballroom scene like that. He came in and out, but he wasn't really into it. He's a pansexual too. Okay. So he's just like, he lived this as a straight male way, buff, tall, you know what I mean? Like, so he wasn't really into all that.
Life,
So when Yo-Yo comes to the door, Jazul's like, oh, this bitch is a bum. He's a leech and all that. And so he comes out the room and he runs up into Jazul's face and he's just like, say that again and I'll kill you. Right?
Oh, that's
and
he pulled the Sanaya.
Yeah, right. And so Jazul goes in my room, calls the cops.
Oh, bitch, that would have been me too. That would have been me too. But immediately.
He's trying to kill me. He gets removed from the house. He gets like a restraining order or whatever, right? Now, if you're in fear of your life, right, you get a restraining order. When the 10 days was over, he wanted to come have a conversation with me, and we wanted to get like everything right. And Jazul was like, he still owes me like $100 and something. I'm like, okay, well, it was $300. Me and his friend came up with $100 to come together, just so it'll be easier, everything can be smooth. He was just like, oh, there's still 168 cents. Mind you, I got these.
Oh, we getting real.
I got the receipts right here, so you're gonna. So I can, right. And he's like, listen, I need my $100 and the 68 cents, right? And he's like making it like right. And so I'm just like, Jazul, listen, if you're not gonna have a conversation with him, whatever, then just don't bring it up to me. And I started noticing, and this is a little side thing, I started noticing me and his relationship started changing when he started arguing over juice. Now, I had a Simply in his room, a gallon, and I drank half of it, and I left it in his room, and he wasn't home. So I said, oh, you have another Simply in the refrigerator. I don't want to go in your room because if something goes missing, I don't want to hear, oh, you was the last one in my room. Yeah. So I drank the juice, but I asked him. He said, okay. But then I was Simply, you pour 2 wine glasses, the bottle's almost gone. Yeah. So I sent him the extra money to pay for another one, but also left that one and left my other gallon. So now he has a full gallon together and plus the money to buy another gallon. And he's still going to text me like, is the reason why you sent me the money is because you drank all my juice or half my juice? And I'm like, well, first of all, bitch.
I covered my fucking ass.
I covered and you got my juice still. Yeah. So it's just like, you can go drink that. Right. And he's like, because now I got to walk to the store. But I said, you still got juice in the house. And so that's when I started realizing our relationship started changing. And I'm just like, why is he starting to feel like, but I'm no longer in Escada. So I'm starting to put the pieces together. I'm just like, oh, he just thinks that this is the get back. Like, oh, you want to take your energy away from me? Well, I'm going to take it away from you. Yeah. Right? So as I'm talking to my best friend, as he comes back, Jazul opens the door. He walks in and he's like, where's my money, bitch? And he's sitting on the thing. I'm sitting on the bed and he has my dog in his hand. And he's talking and he's like, where's the money at? Da-da-da. And my best friend ends up paying like the conversation. Like he starts playing with them. He's all like, oh, I don't get the money. Da-da-da. So like he's playing with them a little bit. But Jazul ends up taking his anger with him and putting it on me. And he was like, and you're a broke bitch. And same goes to you, London. Now, when you hear those words, same as goes for you.
Especially with the last sentence that he said.
You just said? Yeah. I'm like, baby, first of all, I just put some money back down into your pocket. And don't forget, your biggest blessing that right now is from something, and that's not being a cocky thing. This is what that was Legendary was. Yeah. It was kind of my blessing because we didn't have to audition. Since I was teaching at those institutions, they hit me up and they was like, can we have you on the show? Can you put people together and come on the show? And I didn't want to go on the show with anybody that I felt like I didn't have a real, genuine bond with. Right. And so I'm like, Jazul, don't forget where you come from. Like, I done gave you a blessing, and this is before you even had it together. He was still a virgin, as y'all can see. You can see him growing. All the kids, you can see them growing over time. And I'm just like, and you're gonna argue over juice and all this other stuff, and like you're gonna call me the broke bitch, and I'm just like, no. This house came together. You brought me. I was actually back in Springfield, ready to like settle down. He was like, please come back. I'm about to move out. So I moved back to Boston for him. Wow. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so I said, I'm sacrificing here for you as well. Yeah. So don't do this shit, whatever, right? Yeah. He knows that I'm not budging and I'm not going to be sticking up for him at this point. He throws my dog on the bed. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of my room. I stand up in his day. And so he pushes me, I push him back, and he falls into my mirror, right? Next thing you know.
He wants to battle with 6'7"?
Yeah. But so I'm just like, Jazul, get the fuck out of my room. Yeah. Right? He gets out, and then he says the same thing. I'm calling the cops because he's trying to kill me. And I'm like, oh my God, now he's trying to pull the same thing that he did to my best friend on me. So I go out in the living room to go talk to him to be like, Jazul, this is not even my situation. Why would the fuck would I want to kill you?
But the fact that
how things switch.
Not even attack me, but kill?
Yes. And so I'm in the living room with him now, and I'm trying to explain to him, like I said, calm down. It's not that serious. Jazul chokes me. And so as he chokes me, I put my hand and I open up his arms and I kneed him in the stomach and throw him into the room, right? And I'm like, don't you ever put your fucking hands back on me, right?
Oh my God.
Mark comes up, my best friend, he comes up behind me, and because Jazul's boyfriend's in the room. And he's like, listen, there's 2 of y'all and there's only one in London. I got to be a witness. Jazul picks up the wine bottle, trying to hit Mark with it. Mark takes it out of his hand, flips him over. He gets his phone and he calls and he goes, hi, 2 black males are getting beaten up.
And y'all ain't busting no shade. And, you know, I be hearing they be get a little racist in Massachusetts.
Remember, and Jazul is white passing.
Down.
And he's Dominican.
Right.
But he's white passing.
They know.
And so cops came there in seconds. And I'm just like, that's Jazul, crazy. You don't understand. They could have came in there and killed us.
No shade.
Because me and my best friend, we're both tall, black, built. I'm just like, they could have came in there and started shooting us, whatever. We're in Boston.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Boston's a racist state, but I'm just saying, like, there's many possibilities of what's going to happen.
Just dealing with cops anyways, and like we know that. We know this country.
Exactly.
Not even the state, this country.
And for Jazul to even say 2 black males is beating me
it's
up,
very intentional.
That hurt me
very intentional.
Most.
Down.
And so from there, they come in, I get arrested, and plus Mark, right? And now we both get evicted. I mean, like we get he gets a restraining order. So we had 15 minutes to grab whatever we can out of our rooms, right? So sorry, that's actually a little before. But as we're in jail, he takes all of it. I have money on a tree. He took my money, the tree. He took a goldfish, bitch. Like, I'm like, bitch, you took my little fish, bitch. Like, I
couldn't even have my fish.
And then mind you, and for a person, if I beat you up, right? First of all, I'm 6'7". Y'all see these knuckles. If I show y'all my best friend, he got some big ass knuckles. If we beat you up, you would not be leaving.
You would not be calling the cops.
He went out to dinner. Wow. As we're getting
he played the white woman
mind
card.
You, as we're getting arrested, him and his boyfriend are walking down the stairs to go out to dinner.
I know he felt like cunt, bitch. He felt like Una's, bitch.
Exactly. He felt.
I bet he did.
Just like Nikki said, I don't care how long it takes to get an op back. Because I'm like, bet I got you. And this is my first time ever being arrested. And now this is on my record.
Yes.
And so like then as this is all happening, now all of a sudden he has these scratches on his neck. And he sends them all to all my friends. He's sending them to the mayor. He's telling everybody that I'm like a menace to society and all this other stuff. I'm just like,
the smear campaign down.
And I'm just like, all because of, first of all, I left Escada. So now he can't do the same work. He's not going to make the money. He realizing that this is the end of things. And I'm just like, but I never wanted us to be in this position. And he ended up, I couldn't get like gigs and all that because of that.
Can I? Okay, no, go ahead.
Yeah, no.
You know, hearing that and understanding that he was new, you know, it makes sense. Now, I understand that you did what you did coming from a pure-hearted place,
right.
But I think that's why those big opportunities, it's so tricky because you don't know how people are going to handle that, especially when they haven't really fully tasted boredom yet, but yet they're experiencing boredom at this highest point possible. Right. That it's not going to hit the same as somebody who was doing the grinding and the work and all that stuff. So when you get that blessing, no shade, I'll be telling, not everybody can ride with you to the top. You have to be so cautious about your blessings.
Absolutely.
No shade.
And that's where I'm starting to realize.
Yeah.
You know, like I have to really, and because like even with the St. Mortars, like we had a big division with that too.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too bad, but it was just the fact of like when you really pour into people and then like they can't get everything they want. Now it's like attacks and swords and everything. So I'm really careful with my blessings now.
Yeah.
Like, I have to really understand your being.
You have to protect your energy in that.
Oh yeah,
no shade.
And when I looked back at this, like me and Jazul been through a lot. Like I mean, we never really had an argument, and so like that's why it was so left field. Coming like you helped me get away out of my breakup, and like we had so many great times. We stayed in like LA together. We was driving. We was surviving together, and then for us and going on tour, we was on tour, and I'm just like, damn, this is where we're at. Like we couldn't like make it work. And so after that, he wanted to keep this case going. We had this case going for 2 years. I finally beat the case.
Wow.
Everything's off my record.
Wow.
And so it's a fresh new start. But this just happened in this past January.
Oh,
and this happened in 2021. And I'm just now finishing it in 2023.
Wow.
And so it's just like, I mean, 22, sorry. It happened in 22 and now it's just finishing in 2024.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, I felt like I was my back against the wall now.
Yeah.
And so like even with Yo-Yo, after the whole thing, a lot of things fell on her because we was all touring together and stuff like that. And she was just like, we had a marriage performance and she was just like, oh, I'm gonna be, since he said like 2 black males, I'm not fucking with him no more. Like that was really fucked up and all that.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, she calls me and she's like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to do the marriage performance no more. And I'm like, you know what? I still pouring into it. I'm like, take your time. I'm glad you're taking that time. Don't worry about it. I'll handle it. And if you guys look, sometimes I do shows by myself because I'm just be like, I got it.
You're not alone.
It's like, I don't,
Yeah. Like,
and so
one man show.
Next thing you know, Cheyenne calls me. Cheyenne's like, oh, London, and guess what? I'm heading to Boston. And mind you, I have a restraining order. I can't even get my stuff. Like I have all my stuff in my room, my bed, everything. So she's like, oh, I'm going to Boston. She's like, I'm gonna be in your room. And so I'm just like, I'm a little upset, but at the same time, I'm glad she's there because like out of all people, as long as that's my baby, that's my princess. And so and I'm like, why are you going to Boston? She's like, oh, because like me, Jazul, and Yo-Yo have a performance. But she just sat there and told me that
she can't do the mayor
thing because she wanted to like, it was too much going on.
Personalized.
There's a lot because Jazul's her love, like her best friend, and I was too. So it was just like it was a lot of that. And so she was like, I can't choose between y'all, but then you did choose a side. And then so from there, I was just like, because I even told her, I said, it's okay to be friends with Jazul. Just let me know that you are. So I don't tell you things. If we're in a case, I
know how to move.
Yes, I don't want to tell you some things, and then you might just go talk to Jazul, and it slips up, and now he's one up on me just because he knows I'm on his ass. You get what I'm saying? And mind you, his boyfriend said he had a video of the beat up, and mind you, it was a 4-second video of me saying stop. Yeah, it's and so and I didn't understand. Also, I think I was blinded by the love too, that I didn't understand that he really was a culture vulture. And because now that he hasn't been in Escada and everything, where you at?
Where's the energy?
The floor is open.
Right.
You could have been on the floor a long time ago. It's been almost 3-4 years now. You haven't walked the ball. And then I didn't realize that he was always like, when we went to balls, he always felt like he was uncomfortable to be there. I just thought that it was because he was new in his talent.
Right.
But now I'm starting to realize, since he was like, oh, 2 black males beating me up, it wasn't about talent. It's really that you was uncomfortable with people from the urban community. And so that's why you don't catch him out in ballroom.
Because, I don't really, being in the line that you said that, I just, I even though, because that was another thing too, right? Mm-hmm. Like, especially now, because like, Legendary was such a big, big thing. It really did push the culture into, no shade, Beyonce, like it definitely put it into a new stratosphere.
Absolutely.
Where it's like, being somebody who's, coming from the underground and experiencing that, because, ballroom, we have our own celebrity culture, and now you're being put into real celebrity culture, and
being around Megan Thee Stallion, Tamar Braxton,
like, and that's why I'm like, like for the new girls who was getting those experience, I mean, definitely the people back home was like, how the fuck they there? I've been chopped by them, and they up there experiencing my glory, type of conversations, and then. Like you said, like they don't know how to, like, oh, I'm sorry, but it just puts it in a different stratosphere for culture vultures, just period. And like it it really do, because they only see it in that fashion.
Right.
And as a money making thing, and like, you know, depending on what background you come from, you know, that's what they tend to do with a lot of things. So it's like, I'm gagging low key. I'm sorry that you kind of went through that experience, because the arrest part to me gags me the most.
Yeah, because even when I went, because like, even though all this happened, the only thing that kept me sane is that I got a chance to get back to my family. Like my biological family. I was able to go home because, you know, after the whole case was going on, I went back home. I ended up seeing that my mom is 72. She was taking care of my grandfather that's 97, my grandmother that's 95, and they both can't walk. So like, I was seeing her push them and clean it. And I'm just like, you need a man in this house. And so, you know what I mean? So I came home, I'm helping. And like, now I received another blessing. Like, this is that when things move on, I have a secure future. That I'm gonna say that. I won't, you know, you know,
right.
home and, you know, backyard, all this. I'm like,
right.
So I was able to be there for my grandparents in their most vulnerable time. Like, I'm learning also about like life, and it's let me see life in a different way, appreciate it more. I'm going to the water and looking at the sky, looking at how the wind, and like, just I'm being like, wow, you're only experiencing
that's me
one time. Yes,
bitch,
like,
no shade.
And I needed that. So it's like, in a sense, thank you, Jazzle, for having that motherfucking problem and trying to push frame me and shit. But
you gotta be thankful sometimes. Like, going through it, especially too, because I'm also adding to the factor that you was in such a toxic relationship at the time, coming right after that into that to deal with that. And then like, I do see it as the way that you're explaining it, you being forced to go home is that break that you need.
It was my biggest blessing. Like, because like, honestly, there's nothing, because I was kind of like not going home. I wasn't seeing my biological family. I was like in Boston. I was out and traveling. And, you know, like, so seeing family was like, oh, holidays, I'll see you. But now I'm realizing, like, no, we need to be around a little more, like, helping around. I'm seeing my cousins and helping them with and I'm with my niece. I'm watching her grow up, and, you know.
And it's also a blessing because, you know, even though, you know, we find ballroom and we look for family in ballroom, you know, just that common narrative that we come from broken homes, and I come from broken homes, underprivileged, urban community, and that, which may be, you know, the true sense for a lot of people. But there are people who are coming from families, and they get into ballroom. Sometimes they get lost in ballroom if they get their families. And you know, because of the life that ballroom brings. But it definitely hits different when you have to loop back around and realize, like, okay, no shade though, but like, I can take all these masks off a little bit. You know what I mean? And like, and then the meaning of family and stuff is redefined, because obviously going through, you know, all that with the team that you purposely curated and, you know, wanted to give to people those opportunities, and pretty much, you know,
being scared of bonds with like people that aren't biological family. And now I'm terrified of like people. Like, I just felt like I don't know who to trust anymore. You know, so now my back is against the wall. I'm like,
you know what? I would say, like, I wouldn't even say like, so like, I think though that experience gives you a new pair of lens to spot people who gave you those horrible experiences.
And you know, it's so crazy too. And thank you for saying that. And like, my middle name is Rashad, right? And Rashad stands for good judgment. And my first name is my born name is Jordan, which means flow. And so it's a flow of good judgment. And so now I really am taking that, you know, what lessons I'm learning. I have to really watch and learn, and I'm seeing people's deep intentions and, you know, like motives.
Fucking agendas.
Because like, people have them bad.
Boots. And sometimes you don't really, and I would say, because even like in just experiencing life period and dealing with people and so many personalities, even in ballroom too, sometimes it may not come out like right away. It may take a year before they really show themselves. It may take a half gallon of fucking juice to see a bitch real colors.
Down.
It would be that simple thing. No, seriously.
No,
it's not gonna be, oh, you fuck my man. It's you drunk a half pint of my juice and I want my 68 cents, and then you like, whoa.
It's like, oh wow. Oh, we there now.
We there?
Oh,
how did we get
okay,
there?
so we're not worrying about the times that we had to like stay outside and going down, you know. Like, oh, we're not worried about that no more. Oh, got you. Bet. Got you. So it's like, but now I feel like this is going to make me even more hungry now, because like you try to stop me, and guess what?
You failed, bitch.
I was able and blessed to start a new family with the Saints and St. Mortas, and also like able to go on tour with them. And we're on tour now. And so like, and last year it was amazing. Like we hit some pretty good like places.
Really?
And the kids got to experience like work performing at the casino and performing at the mayor's office or performing with executives and stuff like that. Because they at first it was just drag shows for them, but now they're able to like get into the doors that they never really thought. And I used to tell them I'm like, listen, there's executives here, network. Yeah, this is your time. I'm not gonna give it to you. Yeah, I want you to work for it. Like, yes, I had to work for it
because you learned shade.
Because if you keep feeding them, they're gonna need that hand all the time.
Bitch, and when they bite the hand, that feeds them.
Sometimes I wish I could just take the spoon.
Wow, no shade. I'm on your stomach, take everything back.
No
bitch.
shade.
Throw that shit up.
Yeah, no, right now. Here, take this laxative.
Get it out. Get it out of your system.
Bitch, you thought you was shit.
Yeah, everything I poured into you like, no shade.
No shade.
Get you back to your first form, because bitches be forgetting.
Yes.
They forget.
That's why I open up my new performance now. They never thanked me for opening the doors, but they didn't even thank Jesus when he died on the cross.
Oh,
so it's like
intentional.
Yes, because it's just like nobody really sat there to thank me just for opening these doors for them and being able so they can like live in life comfortable. Like like one of the blessings. Yes, and one of the blessings is we didn't have to go back to work. Now we're able to sit home, draw up ideas, and let our ideas make money for us. And I'm like, and nobody is thankful for that. Like, you're not thankful?
Go creatives will be.
You're right.
Bitches who write their own lyrics will be.
No shade. It's like, it gets crazy.
Yes, like, I know. But yeah, so what is like with everything, including Born Evolve, like, how do you think it shaped you into who you are today?
You know what? I think it shaped me to just be able to see through like the darkest times, because I think without the dark, you can't see the light. And so I'm able to now try to find people that in their dark moments. Like just the other day I was at the club, I was able to speak into some people just to be like, listen, don't let people take your dreams away from you, because like people don't know your pillow talk at home with yourself. You know? And so, they'll be like, oh, this is not for you, but they don't know deep inside what you're really meant to do. And so I think now I'm able to hit these different cities, go to the different institutions, and just open up these and break down walls of people's fright and scares, passions. Because like, if you don't do it now, time is going to go by and you're going to regret not doing it. And so now I think I'm sparking those motivations. I'm leaving my footprints where I think like with New England, not many people are able to restore a region. And I think I have the blessings of doing that right now. And just like a few leaders that from Ballroom.
We'll talk about that after this.
Yeah.
I have other questions about that.
Yeah, because they came for me and I'm just like, baby, I said, you may be fab in the ballroom scene, but you're not really doing that shit. You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing the groundwork. Like, and we're in two different places. Some people are able to make that fast cash. Yeah. If you shaking that ass.
Right.
But I make this shit off of just like my hands and craft. You know what I mean? So I think for me, it's just like, I want to, like future wise, I want to make like a ballroom academy and like be able to have people that are searching for their place and placements and stuff and really guide them as they get older.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like my next step and like my next,
I think that's fab because I think that's already what kind of ballroom really is in a way as an academy. Like it really like the way that you could kind of explore yourself in ballroom and like lose yourself, find yourself, redefine yourself, create yourself, and like it's so beautiful in those layers that it really becomes part of a person's like their journey. Like it really becomes a part of their evolution. Like especially when you see the girls like Naomi and like the girls who really like, because Naomi didn't have it easy. Like, you get what I'm saying? We see her now, but she didn't have it easy. Like you didn't have it easy. And so like for me, I'm lit for a bitch who didn't have it easy. That's happening now because why? They can sit here and have a story to tell.
No shade.
Not, the other people who.
And also have people like you that help us be on platforms to talk about this stuff.
Yes, because it's important. So thank you.
And it wasn't easy for you either.
No, it was not.
And I just want to thank you so much for what you're doing. Ballroom needs this. They need like the Vicky show was a big thing.
Oh yeah, that's about shut down.
So right,
Vicky Luna show. Yeah, like I was there tuned in.
You are now creating that place for our culture to still tell our stories and allow people to be a little bit more personable with us. So.
Yeah, because like I'm pretty sure you've seen about like how like because Niambi has been in a lot of drama lately. Girl, they keep talking. Damn, it's like I gotta get her up here. No shade, but even seeing how different countries are talking about people that no shade inspired me, and like that understands the art and the craft on such a deeper level that. I'm gonna just say the story. I'm just ending here, but like I a couple of years ago, I was in the city and I was walking through. I was by Wall Street and I was walking through a park and I see a whole bunch of kids voguing, like 8, 9 years old voguing outside doing lunch. Bitch, I gagged. So I'm walking through and I see that they have their little phone down and they, and I'm like, and this is this boy, and they getting down, they doing the same thing, mocking our same style. And I'm like, do they know what it is that they're doing? I wish I was 5, 6 years old, able to express myself like that.
Me too.
You get what I'm saying? So when I seen it and I'm like, I went to them, I was like, do you guys know what y'all doing? They was like, oh yeah, we're doing this TikTok dance. And I was like, oh, no, we are not doing, that's not what it's called. I was like, that's not what it's called.
Right.
But I was just like, okay. They was like, yeah. And so I was speaking to another lady, whatever, and we kind of was really, because she understood it. So we were speaking about that and I was gagging. And then one thing I said to her was like, we on Wall Street and they're doing this so freely. And like, this was in the height of like Legendary and stuff. And I was just like, but the community doesn't know that this is happening with 8, 9-year-olds creating their own mock ball at lunch. They're not playing double dutch. They're not playing tag. They're not hopscotching. They're not even on their phones. They're voguing. I mean, duck walking, and dipping, and they know when to art. Like, it was so formulaic. And one thing in my mind was just like, this bitch is like Yolanda, Alora, like those girls. There's so many people that have died just down the block at the pier. The pier was only a couple of blocks away. They don't even know how that we couldn't do that. Like the fact that, you know what I mean? Like we would get shot, killed, like, and rest in peace, O'Shea, but like that was something, and like we still many times in certain spaces cannot do that.
Exactly.
So it's like those dynamics is why I be so picky and like I be so instrumental about how I do things, and even this, because like seeing that and them not understanding where that came from and knowing our struggles and knowing just our struggles just growing up being Black and gay in this community, I mean in this world, and then what we face in ballroom in and of itself and how traumatic that can be. It's like it's so important for us to tell our stories. And so so I'm just thank you again for being here and traveling all the way down here. Like, trust me, these things I hold very dear to my heart, and I will like I'm in lost words right now, but I'm just really thank you for able to share your story. I hope that you continue to protect your blessings. You continue to have all the greatness within your house, St. Marta, and just keep moving forward, and like you just keep moving to the next step and elevating. Like no shade, like.
And thank you. And I got so much more for them. So
yes, please.
We are outside. Yes. So I'm preparing, and I just can't wait to see the future of our culture, because like the time is still going.
Yeah, it is.
And I can't wait to sit back and just see how like we all were affected, and like how we were all able to turn a culture that was underground into somewhere where it's a sanctuary. Or because I know ballroom can be a little dangerous, but this is a place that it can shape you into one of the best people, best being in the world.
Okay, shape it for the worse. But like, you know, no shade, they can. You know, a lot of these girls, you know. But yeah, and I ring true to that because, you know, ballroom has and will continue to open so many new opportunities for so many people and putting them into spaces that they would never have even thought of being in, you know. And so, I mean, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for ballroom. So I definitely
I wouldn't be living my dream.
No shade.
Just being able to just
from video vixen dreaming to this, it's like no shade.
I'm on stage with thigh-high titties. It's got crystals all on, makeup a little bit to the side.
Right. Just all me. Yeah. So like, yeah. So I just hope that you just continue to get your blessings. Thank you.
Until next time.
Yes, we're out.
I think I'm your first New England.
Yes. Like, and first mainstream folk femme too. Right? Yes. Again, yeah. So it's a treat. But it makes sense because, you know.
Yeah. Down. I love you.
All right. Love you too, London.
I can I get a hug? Yeah.